altar light, scroll in hand, 7 seals, every word cuts and heals. Red horse screams, hooves like drums, sword raised high, kingdoms come, peace unstitched by a single roar. I hear thunder at my door, wars and rumors of wars, spoken like a curse in the dark. Every headline, every scar is another cracked heart in the ark. Wars and rumors of wars, hey, echo from the prophets and seers. When the Lamb breaks the seal, all the old world shakes with our fears. Black horse ways, bread and bone, steel stilled hard, iron stone. Measure grain by a dying sun, silver short for everyone. Pale horse waits, eyes like ash.
Oh, we're about to get started.
Tombs unlatch, Hades hangs on a trailing chain. Every pulse spells your name. Wars and rumors of wars, spoken like a curse in the dark. Every headline, every scar's another cracked heart in the ark. Wars and rumors of wars, echo from the prophets and seers. When the Lamb breaks the seal, all the old world shakes with our fears. Fifth seal opens. How long? How long? Blood at the altar becomes a song. Six seals shatter, sky like glass. Kings of the earth
Oh, yes.
hide in the cracks. Wars and rumors of wars, spoken like a curse in the dark. Every headline, every scar is another cracked heart in the ark. Wars and rumors of wars.
Oh, screw it. I'm just going to start. Just going to get started.
Prophets and seers.
We got too much to cover today. There's just no way I'm going to make it through all the stuff. I just posted as a post, as you do on my YouTube, the infographic that I made about the $6 billion that is coming from the Qatari bank to Iran. That was the same $6 billion that Biden was supposed to have given to them in green cash a long time ago, and never happened. So that's happening there. Landscape is up on YouTube. You can watch it either way. So go to the channel Infotainment Wars at Infotainment Wars on YouTube, and there should be 2 lives going, and you can just pick whichever one you want. Hi, how you doing? Good to see you. Let's start off with some good news right out of the gate. Look at this, kids. End of my kind of takes the magic away when it's not framed up right. End of the GOP. Huh? Again, I add this to the giant pyre of conversation starters that the Republican and Republican adjacent idiots over at the Blase didn't think they would be making or needing. Ha 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 ha. Now, this is a direct reference to Tucker Carlson quitting the Republican Party, which has about as much weight as Alan Dershowitz quitting the Democrats. I think they both deserve each other. I think we found a ticket. They can both leave their underwear on. You can leave your underpants on. But before we get to that, we need to jump into here. Listen here, man. I'm sitting out in my goddamn car again, and it is hot as a lava flows testicles up in these mountains up here, man. We got mosquitoes the size of buzzards running around, and they got you mosquitoes before you die and a buzzard afterwards. They're the same goddamn size. Okay. Um, I just like the title of this one, and CSL knew I would, so he threw this into the mix today of videos I have not seen, but we will go over before. Number one way to spot a pervert. Well, I'm gonna go with big beard in a car parked awkwardly close to a dirt road near a high school where kids go by on their bicycles. Also, a Jesus fish hat can let you blend in like a youth pastor with with more bones in his crawl space than a Tyrannosaurus's digestive tract. Okay, this is okay. I don't know what the number one way is to spot a pervert, but I goddamn well want to know, and so do you. Let me tell you what. It has to be Epstein adjacent. Yes. How about this? They're friends with Trump, the dude who lusted after Tiffany's tits before she was born and always joked about fucking his daughter Ivanka. Barf, barf. I don't know. I don't find her attractive, and I don't think it would help if I was related to her. I don't know what that's a bunch of hillbilly shit that I managed to escape. Okay, let's find out the number one way. Okay, hit that like, everybody. Subscribe, will you? We're about to find out. This is talk about your fucking life hacks here, buddy.
The other day I was sitting around the house and
as you do, and
piddling with some stuff, and I had 3 women in my living room, all of them breastfeeding them babies.
Hopefully they're theirs. I don't know. What did you just barge in on the milking session?
3 women with babies sitting around breastfeeding. You know, man.
Yes, I do.
I hate that a woman has got to ask people that she's around, do you mind if I breastfeed? Yeah.
Like, hell no, I don't mind.
Feed them babies, son. I'm beginning to believe the number one way to spot a pervert
is it if a woman is nursing a child nearby, he whips it out and starts showing it what for right there in the middle of church.
Is any man who would have a problem with a woman.
Oh, I ain't got a problem with it, buddy. I'm all in. Come on now. What are you doing? Problem? Shit, I got a problem getting my phone out to tape it fast enough. Come on.
Breastfeeding a baby, or any man who's gonna sit there and stare at a woman breastfeeding a baby.
Jesus Christ. You want to do the Trump test on this? Can you imagine the bullshit that would come out of that man's mouth if somebody... Okay.
Let me tell you right now.
I don't mean to bogart, but unless you're going to puff, pass, knock that shit off.
Now, woman, if you're breastfeeding your baby and some man comes and he's acting weird or looking at you weird, why don't you just look him back in the eye and said,
look, I found this baby. I how am I supposed to know it's yours? What are you talking about? I love how the mystery man who shows up and's looking at her all weird, in my head, is the actual dad of the kid. The fuck what are you doing, lady? He's 9.
And say, what are you looking at, you pervert? Feed them babies, son.
That's right, son. No, sorry. Do you need to watch a Walsh video?
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you.
Y'all all got it confused out here. What did you think them boobs was for?
Well, 80% of the time.
Y'all all got it confused. You all jacked up by all this, you all jacked up, man.
Up is not the problem. Off is probably an issue in these situations. What?
All these daggone, this dirty content.
That's what it is. Yeah, nobody in history stared at a woman with her boob out, nursing a child in history until Pornhub came along, fucked it up forever. What are you staring at, huh? I don't care if you're my congressman.
And pornography and all this, you're all jacked up, dude. Your mind is bent.
Are you talking to yourself? Was there someone else in the room? It sounds like there were 3 women nursing children, and you were there, and you're like, why am I staring, son?
Your dang mind is bent.
Well, if the other thing's bent, I think it's called Peyronie's disease, which, by the way, Peyronie sounds like a Polish dumpling, or sorry. Doctor, my penis looks like a Polish dumpling. What'd you do? Close it in a car door?
What do you think them boobs is for?
Don't make me just, like I said, it's sort of an 80-20 rule. I know what they're for the rest of the time.
To feed them babies, son.
Stop staring. Get out that fucking window there, buddy.
So I tell you what, it aggravates the crap out of me when I see a woman that's feeding that baby.
Feeding that baby, man. Come on.
And she's got to worry about, this cover and covering up and they're
Yeah, it's all, but you're blocking my view. I mean, that's terrible that she has to cover herself with a cloth.
all hot and she's worried
She's all hot and sweaty.
about you're going to make somebody around you uncomfortable. Somebody's going to see you this and that. Feed them dang babies. And anybody who's got a problem with it around you's a dang pervert.
Hear that? Hold on. I think we've got Mike Johnson. Yeah, his porn alarm is going off. I think Mike Johnson has watched this video and triggering him.
And guess what they can do?
I refuse to answer on the grounds that it might incriminate me.
They can get their own daggone cell phone out of there.
He's talking. I was joking earlier. No. Only problem I got, grab my phone quick enough. Calm.
Do y'all realize, I don't know, maybe y'all ain't never.
Man, I've never been, so pissed off. I'm up there, I got my phone out, and I'm just talking on my phone. They're like, hey, put your phone down. I'm breastfeeding over here. And I'm like, don't y'all worry about it. And then I end up going home with a fucking 10-minute video of my ear. That's just quit it. Why is that setting off his alarm? Son of a bitch.
Had a woman around you with a baby that's breastfeeding. Do y'all realize?
Speak slower. So this is a personal problem you're airing.
How hard that is for a woman to do? It's a daggone endeavor. It's one of the highest levels of self-sacrifice that I've ever seen a woman make.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely a bit of a chore. It just doesn't rank right up there with having a pelvis that needs more cartilage than a male's. But
and you want to, and we live in a society that where she ought to think that she's.
No, I don't actually, and that's not. And again, you voted for Trump, so if you want a world that's not full of nasty, disgusting, creepy dudes, then don't vote for one for president and elevate them.
Ought to be uncomfortable about doing it because all y'all's mind are freaking bent. No.
No. Goddamn right. No. Nuh-uh. Just real hard, okay? Nuh-uh.
No.
No. No. Stop it. No. Don't. Hey. Nah. Nuh-uh. No sirree, Bob.
No.
Nah.
No.
Nah. All right. I needed this today, I think, because of all the crazy.
That mess is hard.
Well,
and if you're a woman out there and you don't want to breastfeed your kid on account of making people uncomfortable,
whip that titty out in the Chili's. Don't be afraid. Come on now. You know what you should do is distract them with the other and take them both out. This all occurred to him. I would like to remind you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this all occurred to him. The need for this video and the contents therein. This occurred to him while he was alone. He was alone. He was the lone man in a room with 3 women that were breastfeeding. All this was like, yeah, perfect. Like, who even wants to film these? What kind of sicko starts getting, knock it off? Try to, oh, that's fun. It's going to be hard to top that one for the joy that it brings us. But I think we have a contender, CSL. I think we do have a contender. Hit that like, share the show. It's Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide. Come on now. Apparently, somebody has called out Rusty Trombone for his fake Christianity. He did. When your bullshit's defeated. This is interview takes a strange turn. Oh, does it now? It's a short clip, so I don't know that it recovers. Let's find out.
A skeptic of yours, Russell. I appreciate you having me on the show, but like your conversion to Christianity,
and your fashion sense.
Conversion to sort of this MAGA adjacent questioning institution stuff feels a little convenient to me at times, and I want to understand it better. Like I want to try to give you
convenient. What he means is fake, performative bullshit.
The benefit of the doubt, but obviously, like, you know, there's credible accusations. You sort of referred to them before. I saw you talk about them with Piers Morgan. I saw you talk about them with Megyn Kelly. I know that you deny them, but they're credible. There's investigations. There's trials that are going on. There's stuff happening here in the States.
Yeah, it's funny that you found Jesus right when you got when the number of like sexual assault allegations went past the when they officially doubled from 4 to 8. I think was the thing.
It feels to me like from sitting from the outside of it, and you know your heart better than I do. Okay, your relationship with God is
does he though?
Between you and God, you know the truth. I don't. I'm not going to pretend like I do. But
it looks like what does it look like? It looks like
This is some bullshit. We see through it.
boy do we. But you know your heart better than anyone.
it feels to me performative. And you see that all throughout this MAGA ecosystem. Do you understand my skepticism in this? I'm not trying to make a personal attack at you. I just...
Go ahead. I am. I call bullshit. I think he's a fraud.
Just have come in to this stuff with a healthy dose of skepticism. Do you see why?
I understand what the word skepticism means.
Yes, it's, I'm not wrestling with a dictionary, I can understand consonants and vowels, but I don't understand when it's used against me I thought skepticism was something you externalized. And I thought I was protected against it by using my Jesus shield.
I understand what the word cynicism means. I understand what hubris looks like.
Oh, shots fired.
And I, in a sense, in a way, Mike, I'm at a point where
I don't care. Right.
of abstract pontification and kind of grandstanding and listing stuff and the skepticism and cynicism.
Edit. There was a clip added there, I think. They went from the full live stream, whatever it was, and they snipped something out.
Kind of grandstanding and listing stuff and the skepticism and
See that? Yeah. Either the guest said something, or his editor in chart cut out what he said because it didn't help make the case.
cynicism, if it's applied to individuals, and you've certainly applied it to me,
Fuck you. No. You don't get to turn his skepticism into cynicism. This is not a blanket condemnation of the newly converted. You fucking asshole. Oh my God.
then you should look to your own Christianity
Oh yeah. Pull out the log in your eye before you start fucking around with the toothpick in mine, you jerk.
and to the teachings of Christ, to the teachings of
Like you even know them. I've got the Bible verse right here. I know I left it here somewhere. Maybe it was, blessed are the cheeseman. I know it's in here somewhere. You mind if I get? Hold on. Got my own little Bible right here. Look up the. Let's see where we go. Psalms. Let's go to Psalms 112. Yeah, there we go. Well, there's 113, 111, 112. Here we go. Boy, it's not too hard, is it? I didn't even have my bookmarks way in the back. And yes, I have a Joker card as my bookmark in Revelations, but that's because I don't think the Bible should have included that book, because it was a bunch of apocryphal prophetic horseshit. And it certainly didn't belong in the New Testament. It should have been thrown at the end of the Old Testament where it was. All right. I won't read the whole thing, but this would be. Surely he shall not be moved, for even the righteous shall be in everlasting remembrance. He shall not be afraid of evil tidings. His heart is fixed, trusting in the Lord. His heart is established, and he shall not be afraid until he sees his desire upon the enemies. He hath dispersed, he hath given to the poor, his righteousness endureth, for even for his horn shall be exalted with honor. The wicked shall see it, and be grieved. He shall gnash with his teeth, and melt away the desire of the wicked. Shall perish. So he's going to scare off the good guy is going to make the bad guy feel like shit. Let's just call it there. It's going to make the wicked gnash their teeth. Now I want you to look the true believer. Now I want you to look at young Rusty Trombone here when he starts pushing back at this guy. If you don't see what you want to see what gnashing of teeth is. Yeah.
and you've certainly applied it to me.
Somebody says all you need from the Bible is Matthew 3:25. Is that the no man shall know the hour nor the day? Yeah.
Then you should look to your own Christianity.
Look at this. You should look to your own Christianity.
To the teachings of Christ.
Oh, he's to the teachings of Christ.
To the teachings of St. Paul. He has a lot to say about hypocrisy. He has a lot to say about followers of Christ, and that even if people are casting out demons in his name and they're insincere, still the work's getting done. Now, the tragedy for me
Edit.
is what's accessible to you and I in Scripture is a profound truth of a revolution that's kind of already taken place, that requires, as he says so many times, only faith, only a mustard seed of faith, only.
Oh, fuck you. No. No, no, no. The purpose of the mustard seed, that analogy is because faith exists or it does not. The first drop of faith is a recognition of the ocean and the skies being full of water as clouds and dew upon the morning leaf and all that kind of shit. Just the opening of it, it doesn't mean you can have a mustard seed of it that you tell people you have. You can pretend to have a little bit of faith. What a shithead. Oh my God.
Mustard seed of faith is all that's required of us to be participants in his kingdom. My assumption.
No, that's not the point of that verse. Only a mustard seed. I don't really have to believe all of it. I just believe a little of it. If I have faith that this will get me out of court, for example, I don't have to. Fuck you.
Is that you're coming on here because you'll think like, oh, at least people, like, you can like righteously claim I'm reaching an audience that I wouldn't otherwise reach, and maybe to grant you a glimpse at my own skepticism, it seems when I see you refer to notes that you're looking at your own clips and you're looking at your own.
Oh, fuck you, man. Look, you just doing this for the fame of it. Project much?
If I may,
I'm taking notes about
No, you may not.
the things that you say, Russell. Just writing them down.
I appreciate that. Or the screen.
If you're going to accuse me of something, I want to be super clear about what I'm doing. I have a notepad right here.
It is very, and you have a laptop open as well. And it's also significant and important to ensure with all accusations to remember one of the primary terms for the fallen one, the accuser, the doubt.
Oh, shit. He's not just being unchristian by calling Russell out, but the devil is the accuser. So his victims are of the devil. The courts are courts of Satan. Anybody who believes his accusers have had their hearts hardened by the evil one. Fuck you.
The enemy. And he engages with all of us similarly. None of us can turn up haughty and supercilious, Mike, and deal with one another. No one gets to talk down to someone on the basis of assumption. No one gets to declare.
No. He's not doing it on the basis of assumption. You're assuming that because you say these words, that everybody assumes you mean these words. And anybody who's a skeptic about you is a cynic and has been manipulated by Satan. Jesus Christ.
Sort of like somewhat piously, and if I may say pharisaically, like I'm somewhat skeptical. You're just a guy who's going to die. I'm a guy that's going to die. You've got your beliefs. I've got mine. You've got some stuff you like saying, some stuff you like doing, some.
Oh my God. Look at this dude. Just like, really? Really? All right. If you ever were on the fence about Rusty Trombone being a complete fucking phony when it comes to his Christianity, and you're, giving him the benefit of the doubt that he's doing it, that he's not doing it just to use it in court like some dude who's in front of a parole board going, I killed those people a long time ago and I found Jesus since. If you have even a mustard seed of belief that this asshole was, genuine, this should eliminate that. This should cleanse you of that demonic influence.
Tricks that have worked for you up to now.
Tricks that have worked for you, dude.
pounds lost, a few dollars gained. And if we're not participating in the kingdom, my friend, we're participating in the empire. If like the sum total of this for you is a few, Instagram followers and a few dollars more for Kamala Harris, I'd say that we've both significantly been robbed and shortchanged. So
also, I would like to say that there's hypocrisy based on the misreading or the intentional manipulation of scripture and the kind of classic spiritual dodging of responsibility by hiding yourself in pious mud, as our beloved friends in King's X would say. And then there's just gibberish, which is what that was.
How do I feel about your skepticism? I understand it. And I don't mind. I'm here recognizing that moment to moment, I'm...
Yeah, I don't mind. That's why, well, anyways, I don't mind because that's how Jesus-y I am. I already said the stuff that you're a cynic and you're just doing it for clicks and follows and you're a liar and you have a plan and you're a Democrat who's trying to raise money for Kamala Harris by attacking me. I've always said that part, but I don't care. I'm just
surrendering to him.
Fuck, man. You know what you should do? Surrender to the LA Sheriff's Office.
He must become greater. I must become less. If part of that process is I listen to you for a minute before I go to my next interview, I do that. If part of it is I attend a trial because of, stuff that I'm, if I may sort of politely direct you in the right, towards the right territory, it's something I can't really talk about because I've been instructed that there would be consequences. So, I understand that. But so what am I saying? What's the point in having this conversation? Because precisely, actually, I'd like my audience to see how I speak to someone that's a Democrat. Hopefully,
like a dismissive prick, you mean?
They'll say, with respect, with compassion, with consideration, with an open heart.
No, you don't get to use the words respect, compassion, say you're doing it with an open heart when you clearly weren't. Those words don't clean up your behavior any more than saying you love Jesus makes you anywhere near the qualities that assumes.
We can learn to find some respect and good grace for one another, and that I think we'll know that by its fruits, my brother, because it won't sound like I got a healthy skepticism. It won't sound like
he's mocking him too. I'm not mocking you. I'm just using a silly voice to dismiss what you're saying.
Like that. It won't sound like performance. I ain't performing. I've earned a lot of money in my life for performing. A lot of money.
Yeah, but honestly, you were a TMZ character. It's not, you didn't earn it for acting.
And what I know now is the authenticity is the only currency we...
Sorry, hold on. Authenticity?
Money. And what I know now is the authenticity is the only currency we have. So if you talk to people and they're very honest,
the authenticity
about their brokenness, their flaws, their addiction, the mistakes,
the rapes they may or may not have committed,
they've made, they're probably telling the truth. They're not going to be perfect in the same way you're not perfect.
Oh, that's what you gotta love that. The retreat to perfection argument. Look, nobody's perfect. Dude, we're not arguing perfect. We're just talking about what a liar you are. This isn't about a perfect truth and both of us falling short over the span of our lives. It's the acute bullshit you're doing right now.
But when anybody sort of seems sort of slick.
Oh, look at that. Seems sort of slick. You can't just stick to the Jesus-iness. You just stop fucking talking.
For me, even prepared slightly appalls me because
that he showed up prepared to talk to you.
Of his spontaneity. I may not yet have the maturity I need, but I have the spontaneity that he's modeled for me. And
what happens is spontaneously I'll put the ad up for my Jesus book right in the middle of a rant that proves that it's all a show. It's all flim flam.
You, mate, I ain't joking when I say that any of us that are willing to sort of garnish and garner the good intent, assume the good intentions of the side we're affiliated with, and condemn as malfeasance the failings of our opponents, we are not loving our enemy. We are not loving our.
No. No. Unconditional love does not mean unconditional like. And nobody is responsible for sweeping out your fucking stable if you want to stand in fucking manure. No. You can love another human being and point out that they are criminal, evil, dark, possessed by Satan, whatever you want to phrase it in religious terms, or just a prick. That part of it, I don't have to interact with you to wish that you find forgiveness, love, and light in your life in some sort of universal sense. You asshole.
Enemy. Love your enemy.
Yes, enough to tell him when he's wrong.
So it should be like, oh my God, I hate that person. I don't trust them.
Whoop, see? Distrust and hate are not the same thing. And the fact that he's trying to attach hate to distrust is another dodge. It's another shield. If somebody doesn't trust you, that doesn't mean that they hate you. Now, someone you hate, you might automatically not trust. Or you might hate somebody, but you trust them to do their job. That's ironic, but true. It can happen. They're both not mutually exclusive, nor do they coincide, nor do they crisscross at any kind of meaningful point. What he's trying to do, though, is say, if you distrust me, you hate me. And if you hate me, you're not a Christian, because Christians don't hate. And I fucking hate that.
I've got.
What an asshat.
I love him. I'm going to love him. My book is out now. There's a link.
This motherfucker cuts him off before he answers. This is his clip. How to become a Christian in 7 days. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it seems like you rushed it. Ugh. What a fucking prick. Ew. And by the way, hit the like, share the show. Somebody send that clip to Russell, because I'd love to talk to him as well. Although I will, if he ever had me on, I would post the entirety of the conversation on my own channel. That would be stipulated as a rule, that if I went on his show and talked to him, that we would have to. I have no interest in doing it, by the way, because he's gross. There are plenty of other people to talk to that don't have 8 rape charges that you can have the same material conversation, true or false. They exist. There's no need. But were it to happen, what you do is, and my advice to anybody who might go on that show is, insist that you have a copy of the entire interview, or live stream it yourself to, or download it to your hard drive and keep it there. Because holy hell, gross. Ugh. Mike Nels, get Mike Nels to tell you about this farce. Yeah, I'd love to. We could have him on the show. Because the fact that he cuts him off, he cuts out 3 of his answers, it's clear in that clip, and then he cuts him off at the end. Fucking hell. Ew. Now, from Rusty Trombone to, what was it, client number 3? The human thumb, the man who looks like he was a member of our gang before he was kicked out for perving on Darla. Hannity, this obsession extends beyond hate for Trump. This is going to be one of those Trump derangement syndrome things, which, by the way, for the record, maggots, if you're in the chat, you have to have TDS to vote for Trump. You have to be deranged to vote for Epstein's wingman. You can't find another Republican that could get this shit done if it's what everybody wants. By the way, he can't. Whatever. Okay, here we go.
The challenges and triumphs.
Holy fuck, what happened to him? Does he have a shellfish allergy nobody told him about? It's like, oh shit. He looks kind of like Pritzker. I'm not kidding. Although Pritzker's losing weight. Maybe Hannity picked it up.
Across the country, Democrats, they are obsessed with a pool that actually reflects a lot more than the Washington Monument. Tonight,
Yes, it what? Amoebas, the sky, Ninja Turtles, snot.
it serves as a reflection.
Oh, yeah, steroids. He might be on steroids too. You think? Like it's one of those things where, like prednisone or whatever.
Reflection into the lack of a soul of a party, the Democratic Party.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, because I've been to the reflecting pool before all this shit. It looked fine.
Driven by nothing but hatred and rage for all things Donald Trump. They are rooting for his failure. And in this case,
Well, yeah, because a lot of the stuff he's trying to do is awful. They're not. That doesn't mean they're rooting for the nation's failure. As a matter of fact, in their opinion, if I may, they are rooting for America by rooting against Donald Trump, and they're not alone because apparently that's the majority opinion right now.
they're even rooting for algae. Now,
Well, certainly algae doesn't need any help from us, and I think they're kidding. Stupid.
have been, pro-algae protests around the reflecting pool.
How do you do a pro-protest? Wouldn't that be a pro-algae rally?
And according to reports, the so-called demonstrators are even harassing members of the National Guard who are on site because of the near constant vandalism from left-wing activists now during and after the renovation. Now, this
Sorry. The protesters are harassing the National Guard people because of the vandalism.
includes the threatening phrase 8647.
Well, again, it wasn't a big deal. It wouldn't have been everywhere if he hadn't tried to arrest Comey for it. And now they're just rubbing it in Trump's face. Dummy.
Spray painted on the, concrete base of the pool, along with
Oh my God.
other structural damage.
How can you see it with the beautiful blue lining?
And the Views, Whoopi Goldberg, that hard-hitting news show on ABC.
Damn. Cold. Going after daytime TV. Sorry, you do realize you pretend to be news too.
She thinks this is just one big moment of entertainment.
Also, what the fuck am I looking at? Is that the alleged someone slicing the chunk out of what am I supposed to be seeing there?
But there's a catch on the other side of this about Barack Obama.
You're so sneaky.
Take a look.
But he is claiming that vandals are to blame. He says they illegally placed chemicals in the water and left a 300-foot gash in the pool. Now, 5 people are said to have been arrested. He says a 10-year prison sentence will be strictly enforced.
Oh.
Well, if he's saying he's going to jail for 10 years, I'm going to let him go. It seems to me that had he...
You think? I think the thing that's upsetting Sean Hannity the most about this clip is Whoopi being happy. That seems to... I mean, if there's something that triggered this response, it was clearly that she's laughing at Trump. And it is a true, deep, and hearty laugh that she's having.
not messed with pool, it would still be a reflecting pool instead of a liquid jungle.
All right, we're getting to the best part. Now, of course, there's been never-ending coverage from the legacy media mob about
I can't get over how puffy his face is. I'm dead serious. Like, has he been hanging upside down for hours?
the state of water in the pool. Camera crews on site from nearly every network. Water sample.
You do realize they have offices in Washington, D.C. You do realize that, right? You do realize that all of the major networks, they're not sending people there. Like they're embedding them in Afghanistan or some shit. They have offices there. Many of them walk by it on their way to work. And Trump keeps talking about it.
Expert interviews, in-depth coverage every second of every day.
Yes, every day they walk by and there's another group of people cleaning up the next fuck up in it.
So-called journalists, Democrats have whined in unison about the cost of this project, seemingly forgetting this very one.
Moreover, like Washington is reopened after 2-year, $34 million reconstruction in 2012. Yeah, it's been opened. Wasn't it Donald Trump who said it never reopened? It never reopened was the quote.
Important part. We had a president. His name was Barack Hussein Obama.
Do you remember him?
He conducted a renovation of that reflecting pool. He did it in 2012 at roughly double the cost.
Right, but that was done. They actually finished it. He didn't spend $34 million in, in 7 weeks. It was a 2-year process to do it right. And Trump just wanted to paint the fucking thing for the 4th of July.
And the result of Obama's $34 million 2-year project, a reflecting pool that continued to leak and a massive algae problem that he had. In fact, the pool remained in a sad state until President Trump
No, it didn't.
started his own
They have to, it's a constant gardening thing because of the size of the pool.
renovation. But according to Fail,
Yeah, does anybody with a fucking swimming pool not have a pool guy and like cleaning robots now?
Minnesota Governor Tampon Tim Walz, quote, the administration found an imaginary problem, said only they could fix it, didn't listen to the experts, hired buddies who grifted millions, failed miserably, and bragged how great it went. None of that's true, but
It's all true. It's not only true, it's ongoing. He's still doing it.
coming from Tim Walz, who seems to care very little about the truth. And that's the same governor that presided over the single worst tax fraud crisis in the history of the state of Minnesota, hasn't shown a lot of concern about fiscal responsibility. Now,
Also governed by federal outlays during the beginning of COVID, specifically when Donald Trump was just throwing money out the door because he was afraid of the collapse of the economy.
this obsession over the reflecting pool extends well beyond a hatred for President Trump. Many on the left, they just hate America. How
No, we don't. As a matter of fact, our disgust at Donald Trump is a reflection of how much we love the country.
many times have I said, if the dog bites, the bee stings, if you're feeling sad, blame Trump. If Trump cures cancer,
This isn't about something going right. This sucks. No, this isn't like they just fucking hate the color blue. But he hired one of his neighbors, spent millions of dollars. Trump, yeah, and then he blathers about it every goddamn day. But he was holding up pictures of it before it started, and then when it was finished, it looked like shit. It didn't work.
they'd find a reason to hate him. Take a look.
Akila,
This is just a shot from what MS Now Live when they're talking about have you read about Donald Trump's cancer cure? Have you heard about it? Perhaps.
Okay, so I have quite a few, but I think that this is a long-term one. I don't know if we'll be around to see the results, but I don't think America's making it to 500 if we're on the same trajectory. 250 was a stretch.
No, don't say that.
I don't see it happening. They're destroying education.
Say more,
They're
say more.
destroying history. Right. I mean, I think that like we have a concerted effort from the current administration to forget about history, to, sort of destroy public education, to destroy.
Well, again, also to her point, if the country's still around, but everything it stands for is gone and it just exists in name only, what's the difference? It was destroyed. It just exists kind of on paper. And the Republicans right now are trying to eliminate everything great about the Constitution because they don't like the downside of it. That's the downside of freedom. Contains a lot of stuff that gives them the ick.
Public works, to privatize everything.
One of the hallmarks of the modern Democratic Party is nothing but an utter contempt for America and Americans. Now, even multimillionaire former MSDNC host, listen to this, Joy Reid said, the 4th of July is not something to celebrate. Okay, take a look.
It is Independence Day. Everybody's barbecuing. It's a thing. I can promise you, Black folks, we will take that day off. We will barbecue because we off. But Black people, that nobody Black I know is really excited about the 4th of July because it is what Frederick Douglass said it is. It is the celebration of slaveholders who freed themselves from having to pay taxes to the crown for their slave empire. And that is what it is.
And she also said,
and by the way, you realize you wouldn't have a clip of her saying it as an example of how you think everybody thinks if everybody said it. And if you found a white person who said something similar, you're not going to use the clip because it wouldn't work for you.
you would never vote for any Democrat that supports the state of Israel. Wow. Take a look.
Yes, she sounds like Tucker.
The Democratic Party is as married to this Israel over everything, Israel no matter what, Israel no matter what they do, no matter how many people they kill. The Democrats are as married to that as the Republicans. And
I disagree, but I understand where she's coming
so
from.
It would take a really strong Democrat. It would take a Mamdani style event.
Yeah, you can't use a Muslim as an example. Find somebody else. There's definitely people who are criticizing him, criticizing the relationship and what's going on. It's not that hard to find, especially these days.
Get a Democrat to say that they weren't getting down with that. But to me, I, going forward, cannot vote for a Democrat who does not pledge to end this relationship. This relationship needs to end.
Now, these are not isolated feelings. According to a new poll, very few Democrats are proud of their country, 29%.
Right, because of its current level of behavior, not the concept behind it.
While the party's base obsessively hates Israel. And
by the way, how did Republicans feel when we had a black president? What was their pride like?
now most Democrats seemingly want to transform our great country into a communist socialist hellhole.
Well, you know, if everything goes perfectly, sure. I mean, you gotta set a very lofty goal.
What does that mean for America moving forward?
All right.
You're not going to tell me? What does it mean going forward? That you will continue to be a bloaty mess? Yeah, Dan Goldman lost. I find that weird. Again, I like in the Mamdani world of like the progressive wins in New York, blue districts bluer does nothing for me. I like ask the squad how are they going to vote when things, you know, they have to vote with the majority of Democrats to try and get actual shit done. And again, Bernie's still an independent. He's not a Democrat. So the idea that somehow this is going to change much is I like cool. Get stuff done and pilot programs out the ass, but you got to get them on their feet for years before anybody's going to take you seriously. So, anyways, is it hellhole lofty? I think it is. You know, they're setting a very distinct goal. This crowd. Anyway, so all right. Real quick, I want to show you how Fox News is struggling with Donald Trump's. I don't even know if you call it just straight up lies about what's in the Iran deal, or if Susie Wiles and that crowd around him has just yes-manned him so much that he actually believes it. It's hard to say because he's such a liar and he's so committed to his lies that he very well could be, you know, I guess performative in it. But he seems to think no nuclear weapons, all that kind of stuff is in the deal, and it is absolutely not. I've read it. I've read parts of it on the show. We went through the whole thing before it came out. The early release of it, the leak, as they called it, which, by the way, means it's true because you can't leak a lie. But I went through all those pieces of it, and we've gone through chunks of it that pertain to stuff that they were talking about each time. It's clear that that's not in there. That it might be a point of negotiation over the 60 days, but that isn't happening. So, all right. This is let's go straight to Fox News so that the maggots in the crowd don't have to take it from me. This is breaking. Republicans break with Trump to rebuke Iran war.
Iran's president announcing today in Pakistan that Iran will never discuss its missiles program. The Iranians also claim they did not agree to let the UN inspectors into their country.
What was that? Because he just said they agreed to everything.
Today in Pakistan that Iran will never discuss its missiles program. The Iranians also claim they did not agree to let the UN inspectors into their country to look at their nuclear facilities. The president personally swatting that down today. Watch.
They're wrong. They're wrong. They're wrong. They know they're wrong. They told us inside, and we have it down 100%.
They told us inside. You mean they weren't standing out in the rain with an umbrella? They told us inside, and we have it down 100%. No, you fucking don't.
Inspections. And if they were right, I'd cancel the meetings right now.
If they were right, yeah, again. He can't because it would cause the strait to close again. The oil is really the issue. It's just nonsense.
Well, as you mentioned, Secretary of State Marco Rubio arriving in the Middle East today to sell this deal to Gulf allies that might still have concerns over that big reconstruction program that is supposed to be a part of this memorandum.
Oh, yeah. You mean the $300 billion that they're going to get? Okay. Next up. This is News Nation. Trump has a problem with News Nation right now because apparently they read the agreement as well. And they have on Bill O'Reilly. And I think at the lead of this, I can't tell. It says, Bill O'Reilly, bombing of Iran will happen again without a deal secured. Well, luckily there is a deal and it's awesome. And we've never had one like this and it's better than the Obama one and et cetera, et cetera.
Tell me why I'm wrong about everything is the great Bill O'Reilly, anchor of No Spin News, author of Confronting.
And we just woke him up out of his easy chair. And he barely had time to put his teeth in.
Host of the We'll Do It Live podcast. Bill, I've never wanted to be more wrong about something in my entire life, and I'm really hoping you will help me here.
Well, I don't know if I can help you, Batya, but I can give you perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fairly certain that she was saying this deal is bullshit and it doesn't say anything that Trump says it is. But they don't include that in the clip, which I find odd, News Nation.
I wrote a column on Sunday yesterday. And
yeah. Oh, yeah. We all caught it. Yeah. Committed it to memory.
I'm having trouble with this dopey machine. So if you hear somebody go, O'Reilly's an idiot. It's coming out of this machine. Can't turn it off. I can't do anything.
I'm so glad we're listening to you.
So I wrote a column.
If you were a Luddite, you would smash it.
And it said, look, things.
What you mean is you're dumb. My mom knows how to turn off her ringer.
Change in war. Mm-hmm. And that's what everybody is missing here. So when you start a war, as we did, and it was a noble.
By the way, this says still ahead. Vance in a vice.
Gesture to try to protect us and the world from a nuclear weapon that a terrorist state almost surely had. Okay.
Almost.
Okay. Now, some people don't believe that.
Yeah, like everyone.
All right. Our pal Chris Cuomo doesn't believe they had it. but the evidence is so overwhelming that they were close.
No, it isn't. What evidence? Seriously, Trump says so? That's it. That's the evidence.
That a guy like Trump is basically going to say, look, we're not going to take the chance. We want this regime changed anyway.
Yeah, it was on the fucking list from PNAC.
So we're going to start a war, and they did. Once you start a war, and I said this at the very beginning, unintended consequences roll in.
I don't know what you're talking about. It was over before it was even started. We won, and we're winning, and we won the winning part again. So much so that they're begging to lose.
Things that you never anticipated. One major error by the Pentagon was they did not war game the Strait of Hormuz.
Okay, bullshit. They just ignored the war games. What do you mean? There is no war. The Iranian Navy was shit to start with. It's the small speedboats with mines you have to worry about because they can do that forever. And because it's an open strait, you can't, if they just flag a ship differently or it's just a small enough boat, you can't just blow up every fucking fishing boat in the area because it might be coming from Oman or some of these other countries. So, and if they just go out far enough around, they can drop mines all through the area, dipshit. They just didn't care.
Can't explain it. Nobody knows why they didn't. But certainly that should have been taken into account when you say, well, if we don't get regime change, if the mullahs tough it out, they're going to try to strangle the world economy by screwing up the Strait of Hormuz. What do we do? And then we do.
And we do. Yeah. I'm so glad we heard that. Sorry, you want to say that again?
What do we do? And then we do.
And we do. I agree. Yeah, I just wanted to hear that again, just to clarify, because I want to completely agree with that frontier gibberish. Here we do. You
don't have it.
I just have it. Yeah, we do. Have it.
That's a strategical error. And we make them all the time. We made them in Vietnam. We made them in World War II. We made them in Korea. Anybody in
not like this, though.
That war scenario is going to make them. And again, I'll go back to our friend Chris, who was commentating on the school that the girls were killed in, all right, in the beginning of this conflict. Well, every single modern war has casualties like that. A guy in the Pentagon did not wake up that morning and said, I'm going to kill schoolgirls in Iran. That didn't happen.
Right. But the leadership decided they didn't care. When someone said measure twice, cut once to them, they called that person gay and told them to shut up.
What happened was there was a mass bombing to destabilize the infrastructure of that country. And it's going to happen again.
Is that the picture of him signing the Farsi version?
Because President Trump has two options now.
Shit or get off the pot?
He's trying to save his legacy. Excuse me. And he's trying to right the economy so that the Democrats don't win in November.
Yeah, but those things are in many ways mutually exclusive.
So that's his accomplishment now. He's got two options. One is that inspectors go in.
Well, that's off the table.
To look and see what the nuke situation is. And that's what Vance was saying today. And the president backed it up.
And the Iranians said, fuck you.
On social media.
Talks.
Saying, look, this isn't negotiable. We're going to either do that or we're going to launch more military action. That's it. There's nothing else. Okay? So the mullahs either let the inspectors in or we're going to have to bomb them again.
Well, guess what?
If we bomb them, more school girls are going to be killed. Okay, this is
sorry.
What
Wait, sorry. Are we now just targeting girls' schools?
War is, I don't justify it, it's horrible. But if you think in this age where you're using the most powerful weapons on earth, that civilians aren't going to be affected, you're crazy.
Yes, civilians being affected isn't the same thing as a girls' school blown to pieces when they knew. The argument is that they knew, or they were aware that the possibility that that building had changed purposes and they just didn't give a shit.
They are. And so the mullahs have been presented with that. This is it. This is your take. Either let the weapons inspectors in, and why you wouldn't do that is beyond me.
Because if you don't have a weapon, you believe that they'll roll in and take over your entire. It's the fear of the weapon that keeps them at bay. And if they know definitively you don't have it, then they will feel free to attack. In the same way that why Saddam Hussein was saying he had chemical and biological weapons when he didn't, largely as a bluff.
Okay, even if you have nukes, nobody's going to do anything to you. It's going to take them away. Okay, but you still want your people to go through this? It's unfathomable.
Fathomable? All right. Fathomable. It's okay. This is the back end. This is this current state of turd polishing. I'm just going to give you little snippets in right-wing media. This is Fox Business. The title of this one is Regime Survived. Iran believes it won the war with the U.S. This is on the Big Money Show.
The White House is projecting confidence in negotiations with Iran, seeing good progress towards
Because projecting confidence is the same thing as winning.
a lasting deal. The U.S. is now allowing Tehran to sell oil in dollars for the first time in decades. And President
And where do those profits go?
Trump says unfrozen Iranian funds will be used to buy American farm goods. And as Iran tries to assert control over the Strait of Hormuz, the president says oil is flowing.
No, what? You're not going back to the beginning of the war? Oh, it'll show that it's actually up about whatever, $8, $10, and it's going to stay there.
We're doing very well with respect to the Hormuz Strait. We took in more oil yesterday than has ever gone through the strait.
Gibberish?
You probably see that we have an oil gusher.
We have an oil gusher. So it's that gum that tastes like mint, and then when you bite into it, it's got petroleum.
The strait is totally open as long as they
No, it's not.
respect us. I don't want to use the word fear because that's an inappropriate word. But as long as they respect us, we're not going to have any trouble. We have total control of the strait.
No, we do not.
Okay, so Steve, I want you to weigh in on this. I think the sell-off we're seeing on the NASDAQ is unrelated to the war, but certainly the oil prices right now, under $73 a barrel, are reflecting what we're seeing. Some problems I have, and we alluded to it a little bit in the previous hour with Charlie, with this deal are the Iranians selling oil in dollars. Part of the strategy should be keeping them on the mat and not giving them funds, right, to be able to get back up again. But having said that, that's contributing to the oil price going down. And so I'm wondering.
Gee, it's almost as like Donald Trump is trading national security for profit. Who could have seen that coming?
Where exactly we're going here, the frozen assets, are they really going to use them to buy soybeans and wheat from us? I mean, it sounds good, but is it good?
Well, if you believe that, I've got a bridge here in New York that I'll offer you shares in.
Damn.
And guaranteed never to go down in price. But let's be blunt. I'll be blunt. The mistake was doing the ceasefire prematurely, and now we're suffering the consequences for it. And the Iranians believe they've won this war strategically. They took a beating militarily from us and from the Israelis. Our military performed absolutely brilliantly. But the fact of the matter is, the regime survived. The regime is now seen in the eyes of the world as de facto control or veto over the Strait of Hormuz, which they did not have before the war.
Right.
They've done nothing about the proxies. They've done nothing about the missiles.
And they're not going to.
They have promises about maybe nukes in the future.
That's Steve Forbes, by the way. He ran for president as a Republican a while back. Yeah.
So
He's a lunatic. But, you know, again, broken clock moment.
How is the world supposed to interpret that?
Can I ask you a question, though, on that? Because
No.
Yes, go ahead.
we've been having a lot of debate on this program about the Strait. And Dagan, I'll borrow her phrase, Iran had one bullet and they shot it. That was closing the Strait. But we sort of proved that economic freedom, if we do the blockade, block Iran, but everyone else can come out. Or sort of longer term, the UAE, Japan, other Gulf nations have come out and said, we're done relying on the Strait of Hormuz. We're really going to start to accelerate to bring down our reliance on the Strait to zero. We're going to be really focused on pipelines, east to west, other pipelines. And so I think long term, and I hear
Very long term.
you about the
5 to 10 years.
frustrations right now. But did this not sort of wake us all up that this is Iran's bullet? But now we're all getting around it. The way that we woke up to China in COVID and we said, I'm not going to rely on you for supply chain issues anymore because you're an unreliable partner. We're now exporting more oil to Europe because they're not getting it through the Strait. So long term, though, could this be a positive as we reduce everyone's reliance on the Strait?
Long term, and we've discussed this in the past, building those pipelines is absolutely essential to reduce the dependence on the Strait. But the fact of the matter is, before this war, nobody really conceived that Iran.
Never mind that. Fuck. Stop. If you'd have taken the money we spent on the war and literally just built pipelines to circumvent this, like literally did a crazy Marshall Plan to go, hey, we're going to invest in the Gulf states. We're going to take whatever, $300 billion, whatever the plus $380 billion. That was both supplementals. Throw those together. We're going to spend $380 billion circumventing the Strait of Hormuz. You could have done it. You probably could have done it 3 fucking times, avoided the war entirely, and the Strait of Hormuz would no longer matter. But that takes like strategy, care, and a conscious decision not to take human life.
Going to have a veto power of any sort.
Or we could just move towards renewables and electrify our commuter cars
over the Strait. And now they do. And so strategically, they're seen as having gained, despite the huge beating they've taken. They're now getting money without really having any real guarantees. There's talk about inspectors. That's great. But if you have that work at all, you have to have them on the ground all the time, 24/7, anywhere in the country, anytime. Anything less than that is a cave-in. And so the focus should be not just on Iran, but how do we reassure our allies in Europe and in Asia?
Allies. That's adorable.
That the U.S. is still a reliable partner.
What if Europe is in our ally?
Somebody said, how long would that take to build? It would probably take about a year and a half because it's desert. So if you were running through Europe or something, you had to move it through a bunch of other areas, there'd be a lot. But considering the current state of the Gulf states, you could circumvent these things, this kind of pipeline, through a lot of unused land.
Anymore, though.
The what?
What if the Europeans, sorry to jump in, aren't our allies anymore?
Jesus Christ. What if we're not their allies? What you mean?
They didn't do anything
the Europeans are our allies.
They didn't do anything for us. The fuck? They didn't jump into our war of choice that we said we weren't going to do?
Okay. We should have learned that from the 1930s. If Europe gets in trouble, we're in trouble. If Asia gets in trouble, we're in trouble. We're a transocean nation.
Can I just touch on this long-term aspect that you're talking about? Because I think it's really important. And even if...
What if it, I love how, the mean girl approach is what she defaults to. What if they're, really not even our real friends? It's like the Real Housewives of petroleum jelly.
Perfect world. This deal, was...
That sounds wrong, but I don't care.
Actually intact, and the Iranians were going to somewhat abide by it for the next 3 years under President
Trump. Ships in place for blockade if necessary. Honestly, I don't know if I should be concerned that they're still there and we're still dancing around this fucking farce of a ceasefire, or if I'm glad they're there because they're not attacking Cuba right now.
What if? what happens next? Because
You
these
hit the point
build-outs
exactly.
take a long time.
The
And when
Iranians-
President Trump isn't in office and the Iranians have another Joe Biden in office that they know they can trample over, or an Obama for that matter, all of a sudden you've got a situation where nobody's inspecting anything. The store is completely open. And what really has changed?
Yeah, you're right. Maybe tearing up the JCPOA was a stupid idea.
And I agree with you regarding the Strait. The Strait wasn't even an issue until this conflict came up.
What?
And that was.
I'm sorry. What?
I agree with you regarding the Strait. The Strait wasn't even an issue until this conflict came up. And I agree with you regarding the Strait. The Strait wasn't even an issue until this conflict came up. And that was the big thing regarding the Strait. The Strait wasn't even an issue until this conflict came up.
Fuck you.
And that was the big thing of the memorandum of understanding was, oh, well, we're opening up the Strait. Well, we never had a problem with the Strait.
Yeah, and it's like it's almost like stupid people are in charge.
Well, I'm gonna disagree. I'm gonna do something very hazardous and disagree with Steve Forbes on that. I guess I'm gonna disagree with you too.
Okay.
I can't fire you, so
I
go
know
ahead.
this is great. I love this. I can't lose. I think for 47 years.
Oh my God. If 47 years we haven't been dealing with this problem and that's what Trump is finally doing, then why didn't he fucking run on it? Why did he run on no more foreign wars, no more regime change wars, no new wars? Why did he run on that if he was always planning to settle this 47-year score?
Everybody knew Iran had control over the Strait or a veto over the Strait. That's why nobody did anything, because they knew if they did, Iran would do what they just did now. Okay, so for the first time, Trump said, I'm going to.
Yeah, why? Why? Because you can let China know, like, store up some oil for a while. We'll look the other way, even if you're buying it from Iran, which is what he did for months and months and months, probably since last year before the first bombing. And then the rest of the countries have started to electrify their commuter cars.
All that, and I'm going to see what happens, okay? But he was smart about it because he did a couple things before that. One is he lined up all of these Gulf neighbors, okay? He went out and made friends with these Gulf neighbors so that
he didn't make friends with them. He went into business with them.
That when Iran fired their bullet and closed the Strait, all the
they also fired bullets at those countries.
Neighbors said, we're done with Iran.
That's not why they said that, shithead.
We're with the U.S. And number two, Trump reversed a decades-long decline in our energy prospects.
We did not have a decades-long decline in our energy. As a matter of fact, it's been rising for the last decade and a half because of the shale oil revolution during Obama. As a matter of fact, Putin and Putin and MBS were both trying to cadaver the American oil market by lowering the price of oil to the point where they couldn't continue the exploration that became the shale oil revolution, so that they try to kill it in the crib. That was that whole part of it. And Trump was so fucking dumb. He was just like, look at all the oil's getting so cheap. And like, asshole, they're trying to undercut your ability to the drill baby drill shit that you stole from fucking Sarah Palin.
So he made us the place the world goes.
No, he didn't. Obama did, if anybody did. And it literally is the shale oil revolution. How much oil do you think went? Does he really think we've been drill baby drilling? We're at 13.5 million barrels a day. That's where we are. Edging towards 14. We consume 20. I don't want to hear shit from these assholes until we produce 21 or we use 12.
When Iran closes the Strait, in the short term, there was pain. But in the long term,
we're still in it, dummy. This is a fluctuation during the time. This is like the whole thing about like people that don't know history are doomed to repeat it. But there are other people who don't realize they're still in the historic arc of the circumstance. They think they're out. They think the war's over. They think something finished. They think they moved past it. They think the Soviet Union no longer exists or whatever, and that there aren't fucking dead enders and people who are carrying out the same desire underneath the table for the next decade and a half. They haven't gotten out of that cycle, so they're doomed to repeat it. It is really, they're ignoring the fact that they still got work to do.
Has changed the globe.
Oh my God. COVID did.
Everybody is saying we're getting out of the strait. Everybody. Japan is saying it. The UAE is saying it. And I agree, it takes time to do that, but they are going to move at lightning speed to get it done. And in the meantime,
lightning speed is not 3 to 5, possibly 7 years.
We are the country. We are the power everyone is looking for to balance their energy needs.
By policing the strait. Welcome back to like Bretton Woods or whatever, but welcome back to us, them all using US dollars to trade petroleum, not because the petrodollar is a thing, but because we police the waterways.
I don't think that, I think the Hormuz was always an issue. That's why for almost 50 years, nobody did a dang thing about this very patently obvious problem called
it was shut twice before.
Iran.
Well, on the Strait of Hormuz, again, it wasn't an issue before this war because everyone felt that it wouldn't happen. We did not believe that Iran was going to close the Strait of Hormuz, just as when we flagged those ships in the so-called tanker war of the late 1980s. They didn't close the Strait of Hormuz. So that was a new thing. We didn't fully anticipate it, and certainly we were caught flat-footed in response.
Who's we, motherfucker? Who is we? Hegseth, Trump, and his dipshit buddies. Honest to God, the Glenn Becks of the world saying, "Did you even know there was a Strait of Hormuz until this week?" Well, yes. So stupid.
To it. That happens in war, so I don't get upset about that. The question is, what do you do about it? And doing that ceasefire prematurely told the world, like it or not, that the United States doesn't have the stomach to see things through. And in terms of energy, we're doing it already. Without the war, we're getting our energy act together. So it wasn't dependent on the Strait of Hormuz. And so in terms of the future, in terms of Iran now thinks Trump will do nothing. President Trump will do nothing because the upcoming elections, and then he'll be a lame duck, and then they can wait it out. And just as they've done for 47 years.
Wait a minute. Are you saying that J.D. Vance doesn't have the MAGA riz to push through legislations and marshal a U.S. defense against the rise of Iran as a rogue state? I'm fucking with you. He's doomed.
They just feel that they've triumphed. Whatever they believe in, they believe this shows they're ultimately going to win. They took the worst in the world's eyes from Israel and from the United States, and now they survived and have a power that nobody.
But don't worry about it because McDonald's is up 0.5 point. A whole $1.38. It is truly a golden age.
Thought would be exercised
and
before.
The president keeps saying, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Don't you dare cross me. I'm gonna do it. And Dagan, he does nothing. It still has another threat out there that if you don't comply within 60 days, I'm gonna do it. But does anybody believe him?
No.
He's done. I mean,
other than what he calls
program.
love taps. You know, an occasional bombing here, an occasional bombing there. The kind of fury that we unleashed at the end of on February 28th, nobody believes we're going to do that again, including the Israelis. And the fact that we allowed the Iranians to tie a deal to having the Israelis not respond to the missiles being fired by Hezbollah, that's exactly what they wanted. They show the world they can protect their proxies.
Wow, I'm starting to think that Fox News thinks Trump is an absolute dipshit.
Even when they're flat on their backs.
Notice everybody's going, in the background.
Well,
shit.
Diplomats from Oman met with the.
Why, thank you, Ariel. I loved me as Davenport, too.
Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi and chief negotiator from Iran. And Iran and Oman have decided that they're going to examine charging fees to get through the Strait of Hormuz. They put out a statement about it, I believe, this morning. If
anybody wants to invest in something right now, I'd say electric cars.
emphasized in the statement their sovereignty and sovereign rights over the waters in the Strait of Hormuz. I'm
Go
just
ahead.
going to read through it. And in the statement, they said
This the Iranian statement, I guess.
in order to reach an agreement on the future administration of navigation in the Strait of Hormuz and the services that will be provided in this regard and the cost associated with them. So it's not tolls, but it's going to be a fee.
Yeah, so much better. You know what? I feel a lot better about it. Yeah, you have to join this insurance pact that they make everybody join, and they're not charging until the 60 days is up. And then on day 61, the good ship middle finger, it sets sail.
Oman and Iran potentially charged for passage.
Yeah, if it walks
So
like a
what
duck
does
and
that tell
quacks
you
like a
in
duck.
terms of the posture?
Well, this
and
this
how
you've
they're
just hit-
It's like, ma bum, bum 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 bum. Dum 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 dum. Rump. Da da dum da da da. Ba ba. Bum 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 bum. Sorry, I should grow up. Apologies. At least I have a stand that goes on like a professional.
Bolden.
Yeah, this tells you another thing. Freedom of navigation's been a hallmark of U.S. foreign policy for over 200 years.
Gone.
That is now in jeopardy. They're even talking to some countries in Asia about charging fees in the Strait of Malacca. China is continuing to try to establish control of the critical South China Sea. So that was another thing. The idea of charging toll of one way or those waterways wasn't on the.
Iran seeking to assert control over Hormuz Strait. This is a deal. This is the best deal. Thank God we have a deal maker
Before
in chief, the chief dealer.
Now it is. And so we've got a lot of work ahead. And by the way, the neighbors of Iran, the Saudis, have a very different interest now in their minds than from the UAE, the United Arab Emirates. And so you see this division there. Turks have their own interests there. They don't want to see Iran completely destroyed. And so you have these blocs beginning to emerge in the Middle East. So as Hardy would say to Laurel in that old comedy duo, you've made a fine mess of things.
Well, I do want to point out, though, there's a lot.
Yeah, let's fix that because Trump did something awesome. Have you seen the reflecting pond pool? It's a pool. You got a pool or a pond. Pond be good for you. Pond, pool or a pond be great.
Even in the media coverage, a lot of counting of vessels going through the Hormuz on a day-to-day basis. This many ships yesterday and this many ships 2 days prior. It's not just about the crossings in the Hormuz. As we've been talking about since this conflict started, you have to count the barrels, the additional barrels that are going through the pipelines across Saudi Arabia, through the UAE, rail, on land.
All the things they put in place to circumvent the Strait of Hormuz so far.
So oil, it's about how much is getting out of the Persian Gulf first. But the United States, and I will repeat myself until
Till we all barf.
I am
Till we're tired of hearing the pointless remark.
purple in the face. What forced our hand, I think, is just pure energy inventories. That it was, if we got the
No. Forced our hand is what starts the war. What called our bluff was energy. We didn't. Her poker analogy is just fucking backwards.
SPR numbers yesterday, that we put 9.1 million barrels into the market out of the SPR is the second biggest drawdown in the history of our Strategic Petroleum Reserve.
Sorry, when was that?
It was, if we got the SPR numbers yesterday, that we put 9.1 million barrels into the market out of the SPR is the second biggest drawdown in the history of our strategic petroleum
You don't say.
reserve. It's at the lowest level since 1983 as of
I'm starting to think that these oil futures might be manipulated ever so slightly.
week. Total U.S. stockpiles were at a 40-year low. We were like at a point, you don't run out of oil, but you get a spike in prices to destroy demand. And this
Wait. That was good. Hold on. A spike in prices does what?
But you get a spike in prices to destroy demand. And this nation was not willing politically to deal with a $2 premium to fight the Iranian regime or a $3 premium on gasoline to fight
Yeah. Oh, it's our fault. Yeah.
the Iranian regime. So they just cut bait and said, we're doing a peace deal.
So in that sense, Iran won in terms.
Right. Yes, just cut to the chase, lady.
Strategically. And in terms of the president, he did give a speech about the war several weeks into it. Those who watched it were persuaded by it. But at the beginning of the conflict,
I watched it, I played it, and I was not.
That's when that speech should have been made. Most of Americans would have supported it if they told this is necessary, however hard and long as Churchill would put it may be, they would have supported him. But they never thought they were getting, every day it seemed, 2 weeks it'll be over, 2 weeks it'll be over. And then prematurely cutting off the war with 25% of the targets still untouched, Cargo Island still untouched, the overland route still untouched, and the RGC still having the guns. And we knew who they were. If we'd continued the war, it would have been over by now, and we wouldn't have to worry about inventories or anything else.
All right, we have to leave it there. Great analysis, Steve.
Yeah, super great. Everything's working out super well. And all right, last one of these. Rand Paul is on Fox Business. The carpetbagger from Kentucky, as a Kentuckian originally, I can call it what it is. Straight horse. Trade sanctions don't accomplish much. Senator Rand Paul.
Now, with great pleasure.
Great pleasure. I was just, hey, I'll have a little sippy poo. I saw some of my Rand Paul.
As always, joining me now, Kentucky Senator Rand Paul, member of the Senate Foreign Relations.
And his pet squirrel, who we call Squeaky around here. I don't know if that's his actual name, but he doesn't come when you say his name anyway, so what's the point?
Committee, Senator Paul, greetings, sir. I want to read your.
Oh, I'm so glad to be here. I haven't been this excited to be anywhere since I got my fake award from my fake organization that gives Ophthalmologist of the Month award. I've won it. How long have I been an ophthalmologist? 27 months in a row.
Latest tweet, or one of your latest tweets.
Great. We're reading tweets on the air, are we? So this is what Benny Johnson's going to look like when he's 45.
Warmongers never want to answer. I think it might be in the full screen. Warmongers never want to answer what comes after military action against Iran. Regime collapses do not produce friendly democracies. They create chaos and power vacuums and new threats that cost more American lives and dollars. I have watched this cycle repeat for 25 years.
What's not to like?
President Trump has a chance to break it through serious diplomacy.
That's adorable.
I am standing with him on that.
Well, have fun standing out in the field holding your pud.
You are standing with him on the diplomatic front, Senator Rand.
That's right. You are both still standing And after all these years, yeah, baby.
First of all, thank you for all that. I happen to agree with you, but your logic, I'm always interested in hearing your logic, sir.
I read it, but tell us what it means, sister.
Well, I think peace is preferable to war. That's
I do. This is it. Some people might know this is a Kentucky accent. No one in Kentucky thinks so, but
pretty easy. I think the president needs a little.
Peace is preferable to war. Way to take that strong, definitive stance. Let's draw a line in the sand. Right. Yes. One moment, please. Mm-hmm. Oh, good. Oh, we do. Well, that depends on what they want what repairs are needed now. That makes me think. Uh-oh. I have questions now. Okay. Long story. I'll catch you guys up soon. Everybody says hi. Oh, she left. Womp womp.
To find this peace. And I think ultimately peace isn't just about military accomplishment. We have militarily, as you described,
I agree. Peace isn't just about military accomplishment.
decimated their army, their navy, their missiles. We have decimated them. But
right. Peace through decimation.
Ultimately, to get a political peace,
just like Jesus would want.
Peace, and to get the things you want.
Blessed are the decimators, for they will leave rubble in their wake.
Such as elimination of their enriched uranium, you have to make a diplomatic deal. So the biggest part of the beginning of this peace is that we've traded, we won't blockade them if they don't blockade us. In other words, we're going to open the Strait of Hormuz. That's already occurring to great benefit, the lowering of the oil prices, lowering of gas prices. The next stage of this, I think, and I think they are chasing.
Oh, God, this is... I don't care what you think, dumbass. If you're not in the room, you're wrong.
By the military defeat, but it still has to be negotiated, is that we need to get them to, I think, remove the enriched uranium. I think they will do it, but they're still going to want something, and that something is the release of trade sanctions. I've been a believer over time that trade sanctions don't really accomplish much until you trade them for something.
So you believe in trading trade sanctions? Isn't that trade on trade crime?
We've sanctioned Russia. They haven't changed their behavior. We've sanctioned China. They haven't changed their behavior. We've sanctioned Iran. They haven't changed.
Yeah, because they view it as a tax. The financial benefit of doing business is so great that whatever your sanction is, if it's anything short of 80 to 100%, it's still better for them. If you drive somebody to zero and then you sanction them 90%, they're still getting 10% more than they were getting. And if you're operating in the millions or billions of dollars, then I'm aggravated again, and I'm fine. I'm going to be fine. I'm not going to let them upset me.
Their behavior, but they have effect, and it's worth trading the reopening of trade for the removal of the enrichment of uranium.
Yeah, but you can't prove a negative. And how do you know they've released all of it, you stupid? That's the point of this. Once you start down the road of regime change, there is no end in this situation.
Very verifiable. In fact, it's imminently, it can be seen. There's 440 kilograms. We can see
that you know of
it being removed.
No, you can't.
If that happens, that's a trade that's worth happening.
And you know,
that's a trade that's worth happening. And almost as much as watching What's Happening, which is a great show that I missed from my childhood.
Also interesting, you know, you talk about making trades and...
You do, and you lost me in the middle there where you're talking about trade policy for trade and how it doesn't work, but you think it'll work in this situation.
Transactions with the enemy. Okay, fine. I agree with you. The way this is being structured, as I understand it from what Mr. Trump has written in his...
Mr., not president. Interesting.
Truth Social, and I spoke to him on Saturday.
Messiah Smurf just said dynamite. That's not what's happening. That's good times. Oh, dear. Gen Xers, please help them straighten. Please provide them with the information that will set them on the right path of nostalgia.
For a while, by the way, visited with him on the telephone. They're going to use
You visited on the telephone?
a Treasury escrow account to control the funding. So it's not like we're giving Iran money and they can do anything they want. Now, maybe that won't work, but I think
that won't work.
That's another one of these, risks worth taking. The people of Iran need help. They need food. They need agriculture stuff.
Yeah, they're big on grits.
They need medical stuff. They need a lot of stuff. We will control that process. So we're going to let them sell some oil, but the money washes through an escrow account and then goes Treasury, central bank to central bank, then to the Iranian people. Now, that's pretty good. And it's also...
We'll take our cut.
Very clever, I think.
And if they don't comply, sanctions can easily be reversed.
Yes.
But the other thing that the War Caucus doesn't tell the truth on is they say, oh, we're going to be giving them money. Not $1 US is going to Iran. They will ultimately be allowed to get their own money that they trade their oil for.
Oh, fuck you. This is what Biden and Obama did, and you guys were like, they're dumping cash on the Iranians because they want them to kill Americans and Israelis.
For money. That is something that we will allow and will have to allow in order to let them re-enter into the nation, the world of nations, the commercial economy. But it'll be in exchange for them giving up their nuclear program. So, no, I think every step of this will be...
By the way, CSL just said, love that show growing up. Yeah, big difference between Good Times and look, Raj was the original alpha black nerd. Loved Raj on what's happening. But I think I'm still emotionally recovering from the episode of Good Times where JJ's dad died. I think we're all still dealing with that. So
verifiable, but the people who want to fight on and don't want to make any deal, there's a certain amount of hypocrisy. These are the
Also, look, I don't give a shit what Republicans want or don't want, but there's a difference between wanting to fight on just because they want a regime change in another way, or just not believing what the Iranians are saying anymore than they believe what Trump is fucking saying. And even in the case of the Iranians, even if the people who are negotiating are sincere, how do you know the IRGC leaders are going to carry it out? Because how do you know that they're not still grudging on the fact that we killed 170 girls that they genuinely don't give a shit about the lives of? I understand, but the principle of it, and bombed their own cities and killed a bunch of their own soldiers and that kind of stuff, that they're just going to let that go?
people who want unlimited ability of presidents to go to war, but then they want no power for the president to end the war. Ultimately, ending war is largely the president's decision because the president, as commander-in-chief, orders troops around, orders them to fire, to not fire, where to place the troops. That is the commander-in-chief's decision. So,
no, it isn't. No. Battles and responses and defensive responses are a matter of presidential ability and administrative ability, but the Congress decides if we're at war. I'm fine. I'm all right.
Ultimately, we do get peace from a commander, and if there's ever any agreement that's voted on, it's at a much later date, if ever. World War II had some treaties with Japan in the 1950s sometime. So the immediate peace was created by the emperor saying we're done, but also then the commander-in-chief, the President Truman at the time, accepting that peace. That's where the peace came. It didn't come from a congressional dialogue.
And you know, Senator...
The idea that they're even going to compare this to other battles that went through multiple rounds of congressional approval and that kind of stuff is absurd on its face. Never mind, like, the World War II comparisons.
The Iranians don't play ball. I mean, if they revert back to their old form, which they may, I understand that, then the president...
How about this? They may have never stopped in the same way that Donald Trump may be just tapping them along with this dialogue, just trying to get some oil out to buy a financial reprieve so he can do it again.
Said, and I think USA will support him, all hell will break loose again. I mean, that's just what might well happen.
What might well happen. That's just going to be the thing. Who knows?
He's got a fail-safe position. It's like if they don't play ball in the Strait of Hormuz, I mean, the Navy's still there. The Fifth Fleet is still there, right? I mean, nothing really changes. We're going to monitor this. So I think he's got all his bases
And fund this? Good
covered.
Lord.
But the main thing is, I don't understand what all this hand-wringing, Senator. I mean, I think people have their own little agendas. There's no political leadership.
Yeah,
Trump is-
this stupid agenda that people have about not getting into unnecessary wars and fallacious excuses like Yellow Cake 2.0.
political leader the country really has right now. I don't mean any disrespect to you, but at the national level, I mean, people have their own agendas. They're trying to trip him up. The Democrats are trying to criticize him because his name is Trump and they suffer from the derangement syndrome. Let him do what he does best. He's a pretty good deal maker, wouldn't you
No, he is not.
say, Senator?
No, he strong arms people. If that fails, he fucks off.
I think there's an argument to be made that there's never been a better time to get a deal from the Iranians.
Sure. Go ahead. Make your argument. There's never been a better time. Ever.
They're chastened. They're militarily defeated.
They're enraged. Their leader was murdered. They're vengeful. They have a 1,000-year attitude because they are run by religious fanatics. They can wait out Trump and bomb the United States later in their mind. They can lie to Jesus Christ.
They are not going to allow us to take over the country without armies, but I think they will trade their nuclear program because they have been thoroughly decimated.
They might trade what we think we know about their nuclear
I
program.
don't think they're excited about it, but I think ultimately they will trade their nuclear program. And I think they're enriched uranium. There's never been a better time than to have it removed from the country than now.
Yes.
Why? What do you mean? No. There's an argument that if you could just drive in and get the shit out of the sites, it'd be one thing. But we're going to have to go in there with digging crews, in theory, at least on 3 of the 7 sites. 4 of them still exist.
Sir, we have a lot of leverage. We got the cards.
We do not have leverage or cards. They bent Trump over a table, and he folded in half like somebody had cued YMCA.
Rand Paul, you're something, sir.
Yes, you are something. And but what you ain't is a fucking Kentuckian. All right, one more thing. How am I doing on time? And then I was gonna wrap this up. Here's a News Nation one. Trump says Iran agreed to nuclear inspections into infinity and beyond, I would presume. Tehran says no. I don't know if this is the same.
Tough rhetoric coming out of the White House, with President Trump threatening military action against Iran if a deal is not finalized in the coming 50-plus days at this
At some abstract date.
point. The latest comments come as Secretary of State Marco Rubio
makes hot eyes across the table at one of the UFC fighters that showed up to the meeting.
is scheduled to land in the Middle East later this morning to meet with regional allies. News Nation.
Who farted?
Robert Sherman is live for us in Doha, Qatar this morning with the latest. Robert, what more do we know about this series of meetings involving Secretary Rubio?
And also, is everyone on News Nation sunburned?
Yeah, hey there, Marky. Well, certainly everything that's going to be top of mind is the status of the memorandum of understanding on these current negotiations.
I can't be the only one thinking, never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down.
Negotiations with Iran. You've had the president this morning laying out the fact that there are mixed messages that are going back and forth between Tehran and Washington, with Tehran saying,
we're no strangers to oil. Sorry. You know the Strait, and so do I. I can't even do that. What is that, the dance?
that they haven't agreed to any meetings with the IAEA to allow nuclear inspectors into their country.
Iran has fully and completely agreed bullshit. No, that would be, if I may, I'm gonna have to move this closer. They're like, obviously. Yeah, that's not true at all. That's just not.
That's just bullshit, Joel.
Bullshit! Bullshit! Yeah, for sure.
Put up any plans in order to have their nuclear.
This will ensure nuclear honesty. Nuclear inspections long into the future. Infinity! This will ensure nuclear honesty. If they did not agree to this, there would be no further negotiations. Based on this and other major concessions made by Iran, I have agreed to allow the Hormuz Strait to remain open with no further naval blockade. However, all ships are remaining in place should it be necessary to reinstitute the blockade, right? So,
sites looked at. Well, the president throwing cold water on that, saying it's not true, saying Iran has fully and completely agreed to the highest level nuclear inspections long into the future, which will ensure nuclear honesty if they
yeah, you don't get to read that and not say infinity really loud.
Did not agree to this.
Asshole.
There would be no further negotiations. Based on this and other major concessions being made by Iran, I've agreed to allow the Hormuz Strait to remain
oh, God.
Open with no further naval blockade. However, all ships are remaining in place should it be necessary to reinstitute the blockade. From the Iranian perspective, they have acknowledged today that the Strait of Hormuz.
The fuck was that? Like Iranian mine dropper cam?
Is open, and there are no tolls there for the 60 days. Our News Nation team was just on those waterways in which we saw all these ships were very uncertain and remaining right where they were because.
So, all right.
Because they didn't really.
They weren't, so it wasn't open.
They know exactly what was going to come out of these negotiations, if the ceasefire would hold, or if
there were still mines there.
The strait was truly open. So that is an element that all parties are working through here over the coming days in order to determine exactly what the status of the strait.
Also, the written thing said 30 days till it's open.
Strait of Hormuz is, but both the.
Oh, I didn't mean to rickroll you, Morgan. It just happened naturally.
Americans.
It was an organic rickrolling.
The Iranians saying that it will be open. But something
never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. Obviously, not a song about the negotiations.
Parties are watching is the situation in Lebanon.
Can you change it to ever gonna? All right.
The Israelis announcing that there was a flare-up incident that took place here today. They said that
flare-up. What, they used Tux medicated pads to deal with it?
There was an incident in which multiple, as they described, terrorists entered the security zone in southern Lebanon, posing a direct threat to Israeli troops.
The security zone.
And were struck as a result of all of that. We saw a new ceasefire come into effect.
The security zone is an interesting euphemism for a piece of another country.
Between Hezbollah, Israel, and Lebanon on Friday. There have been multiple incidents just like these, and we know that both Iran and Washington are very focused on what happens here when it comes to the parameters of the broader ceasefire at large. That brings us to Secretary of State Rubio's trip here out to the region. He's expected to arrive at the UAE later today.
Yeah, I saw his landing
This
earlier.
is expected to be a series of meetings with Bahrain, the UAE, and Kuwait in order to discuss the memorandum of
in order to discuss their support for him as president in 2028 over the RZA JD Vance.
Understanding these negotiations with Iran and keeping the Strait of Hormuz open, as all parties here are watching this.
I hope they don't take a picture of me when I'm pursing my lips. It's not flattering.
Very, very closely with major stakes in the game and certainly vested interest in exactly how these negotiations proceed.
Trump threatens Iran if they break deal. Jesus Christ, this could have been released at any point in the past. Okay, I'm running out of time, but I got to show you something else. I hit the like, share the show. It's Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide. That is the official. That is a chunk of the collapse. Oh, here's one more of those. U.S. defeat. This is live now from Fox. Iran declares defeat over U.S. amid memorandum of understanding.
On the right-hand side of your screen, you are taking a live look over the Strait of Hormuz coming in from marine traffic as we get to
Still a bunch
the
of
latest
ships. Still a bunch of ships.
on the U.S.-Iran conflict. Take a look right here at this post from Iran International English.
Well, let's take a look at it. We don't have to wait for you to read it. Iranian Parliament Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf said on Wednesday that the Islamabad Memorandum of Understanding with Washington. It's interesting that they tack on the like our buddies in Pakistan with Washington turned into, quote, a declaration of U.S. defeat. Ouch. The Islamabad Memorandum of Understanding became a declaration of U.S. defeat, Ghalibaf said in Baku, Azerbaijan, where he was attending a meeting of parliaments from Muslim-majority states. He said the agreement showed dialogue could succeed only when the other side stopped trying to impose its will and accepted Iran's rights. He added that the MOU was not the result of pressure or coercion, but of what he called resistance and power. First I was afraid. I was petrified.
Now, Iran's outcome, morning under U.S. rights to have affecting the hell, willing to give us.
Then Trump said, so okay. I have Iran on the ropes, in quotes. Obviously, they're not real ropes. It's figurative ropes, ready to go down for the fall. Down for the count. Willing to give us practically anything. Ooh, do tell. And for the first time in decades, respecting the hell out of the United States and its president, me. And the U.S. Senate decides to have a poorly timed and meaningless War Powers Act vote, like I'm going to pay attention to the law. Telling the number one sponsor of terror in the world that the United States doesn't like what I'm doing to them, and I must stop. And by so doing, has provided aid and comfort to the enemy. Okay, so all of the Republicans who voted for it, and certainly every Democrat, is providing aid and these are treasonous acts, and they can all be killed for it. 4 Republican losers voted with the Democrats. I don't need a B. And Iran asked my people, what does that all mean? These senators have just made my job more difficult, but I will get it done one way or the other, or the one way or the other, because I always get it done. Don't listen to Stormy Daniels, President DJT. So, this is going to happen for the next 6 days. Trump wants the price of oil and gas to come down, and once it reaches a point, we'll have another excursion. That's what's going to happen. Now, real quick, we'll dip into 2 things, and then I got to go. End of the GOP, as promised in the beginning. My blunt warning to Washington after Tucker Carlson's GOP exit. Glenn's looking rough, man.
Tell you something that happened.
Let me tell you something.
On a podcast about a week ago. Tucker Carlson was on a podcast, and here is what he said on the podcast.
So he was on a podcast, I presume.
I would not support the Republican Party. There's no chance I would support the Republican Party. I'm not going to support the Democratic Party. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Fap in your little fake wood cabin like the rich asshole you are.
But at this point, how could I or any American voter support a political party that's not loyal to the United States, that puts the interests of
Glenn is talking to someone in the control room with his mic muted.
a foreign country above those of its
See that? Do you see that? Because he's still on camera.
own citizens? That's it's not possible to vote for people like that, and I'm not going to. And I think
are we assuming this asshole actually votes
voted
anyways?
Republican
Voting is what poor people do. I do my electoral work as a pontificator and as a heir to the Swanson frozen dinner, the Salisbury steak king.
entire life. I worked at
the sausage king of Chicago,
Fox News, CNN, MSNBC. I've been a consistent defender for 35 years of the Republican Party. I mean, very consistent defender.
Right. So you were either a liar or an idiot or both.
But there's no defending this because it's immoral. And it's exactly the opposite of what a political party in a democracy is charged with doing, which is representing its own voters, its own citizens, its own nation. And they're
Yeah, but you say that like Republicans will think that's a bad thing.
Not doing that. So no, I'm out. And if I'm out, then I think a lot of other people are out.
He followed Nick Fuentes out the door. Took him a year.
Okay.
All right. Let's do it.
So let me just take this, what he's saying.
Take this, what he's saying, and make words smack together to form sentence about what good and not.
If I am out, then I think a lot of other people are out. That's the really important part.
Yeah. He speaks for a generation.
And you can think about what you want about Tucker Carlson. I'm not.
Oh, I know.
Here, I'm not going to canonize him. I'm also not going to bury him on this.
But how do you feel about his demon fucking? I'm not kidding.
That's for others to take on if they want to. I'm not.
Because Glenn's a coward.
Going to get into the mud. If he's building a third option, which he didn't say he was, but if he is, or recommending a third option, then I'd like to know what that third option is.
Obviously, the America First Party with Nick Fuentes, and they're both going to run and siphon off the super bigots from the Republicans, and they'll be a marginal party for the rest of history.
And we'll take that because I'd like to know what his political solution is.
Yeah. What? Okay, Mr. Smarty Pants, what's your answer to this? Okay, if not Trump, then who?
To holding back tyranny. Besides,
yes, tyranny, the tyranny of infrastructure and childcare and living wage and other normal things.
Israel bad, Iran and Russia not so bad.
Is that? Well, I mean, basically that sums up his last 119 shows, give or take.
MAGA, everybody's saying this is a split of MAGA. MAGA was born out of
the Tea Party and QAnon.
Tea Party.
Mm-hmm.
Disaffection
and QAnon.
With both parties.
No, the Tea Party was not a bunch of like mad Democrats, you tit.
But pragmatism ultimately
pragmatism?
Affection with both parties. But pragmatism. It's pragma.
Oh, never mind.
Ultimately delivered Trump via the GOP vehicle. It was
yes, because a bunch of hashtag Free Palestine people who currently don't give a rat's ass that Israel is still killing people in Palestine. Don't give fuck one. They're not taking over campuses. They're not blocking traffic. They're not doing shit. They never gave a goddamn about Sudan. And half of them are just joking around the fucking reflecting pool now. Those folks stood down and didn't vote because Genocide Joe. That's how Trump got in. The same way a bunch of people like Democratic-leaning independents were like, I don't think a woman should run things. Last time we had a female candidate.
Working the way it was supposed to work. So let's just look at him saying, I cannot and will not vote for another Republican again. Who hasn't said that as a Republican?
That's a problem.
Why is this bothering people?
Well, because of the size of his alleged audience, which, by the way, is a farce.
I think it's bothering some people because coming from Tucker, a lot of people, and I think rightfully so, are worried about where are your loyalties here?
Oh, I see. He got talking points from Qatar or Russia.
But if we today just deal with the words that he said, I can't vote for, I can't blame him. I genuinely can't, because I understand that I've said that.
Yeah, but I mean, you're a fence sitter just like him.
Understand the feeling of being asked to keep playing a game with people who have no intention of ever letting you win. Let me talk past you for a second and talk to
what the fuck are they editing
people
out?
In Washington. Okay, let me talk to them.
No, you've got them on speed dial. You have their fucking phone number, dummy.
To the men and women, stay with me because this concerns you, but this part's for them.
I mean, like people like Junior. That'd be an R, a JR, but it would ends with an R.
I told you this would happen for years. I have said this.
Yes, why didn't you listen to him? In all those ways, he was warning you that if you elect Donald Trump again, this is the end of the Republican Party.
I said the day would come when your own people would stop defending you, when their loyalty would run out.
Yeah, but it wasn't like it's a toothpaste tube and they ran out of toothpaste. Like, it's because of shit they did.
When the other side is worse, doesn't work anymore. You all rolled your eyes. I mean, I had Orrin Hatch say, I'll just do a flag burning amendment and that'll bring them all back. Oh my God. Nope. Now it's real. It's
also, by the way, that worked for Orrin Hatch. But again, other Republican presidents weren't fucking up on this kind of a scale. I mean, George W. Bush notwithstanding, and the Iraq and Afghanistan wars, I think, were the beginning of this issue. But it didn't bother you fuckers.
Here.
It worked. Like, you were like, that flag burning amendment kind of stuff kept everybody on the Republican side on board with Bush and Cheney.
Your inaction, or worse, your unwillingness to understand that the days of Paul Ryan are over.
Well, he knew that. He got the tax cut he wanted passed, and then he split and went into the private sector because he helped write the tax law, so he knows all the loopholes.
I mean, look at the people coming in.
He's literally hired as a loophole guy now.
They're not like you. They're not. And I'm not sure exactly what MAGA actually is.
Right. I mean, besides ridiculous and a lie.
I know everybody wants to make it about Donald Trump and just being a racist, but that's not what it is.
Well, but that's the essence, you know. I'm sure it's got a lot of other ornaments hanging on the tree, but that's the trunk.
I think MAGA is about common sense things that make us strong as a nation again.
Yeah, but the definition of what that strength would be stands out in that Joe Biden passed an infrastructure act, which is direct funding of the things in this life that make not only normal life possible, like roads and bridges and telephone and internet lines and that kind of stuff, and substations and an electrical grid that's resilient and those kind of things, but also allows you to grow because they're that much better instead of just the baseline bare minimum.
Donald Trump and MAGA, he was just the first major candidate that said, you know, we're not done as a nation, and I'm not going to manage the decline.
Yeah, I don't know. You obviously, when Obama spoke, you just heard, but, you know, never mind.
That's what people want. A healthy and common sense driven country that doesn't destroy their faith and their family and their freedoms. That's
right, which is what Democratic presidents do every single time. And then you assholes hand it over to the oligarch class.
That's what they want. Now, before I say another word to Washington, when this happens,
they're not listening.
When somebody like Tucker walks, when the next one walks, and there will be a next one, people are going to come and say, circle the wagons. You've got to defend the party. No, now's not the time. The stakes are too high. Hold the line. If we can just get the White House and the Senate and the House and a supermajority, don't rush to defend the GOP. Don't do it.
Ouch. Well, somebody's had a broken clock moment. Okay. How many people think that this is the fucking monologue he thought he'd be doing a year ago?
Not because you owe them, you know, or the other side anything. You don't. But because every time you defend them for free, they teach you that betrayal is survivable.
I see. So you should start charging them. Yes, the GOP should be a business, but subscription only.
That they can ignore you and keep you. The only language a comfortable incumbent understands is the sound of the door closing behind a voter who's done.
Sorry, so every voter has to go to their office and go, I quit you, and storm out?
Yes, we have to stop the authoritarian and crazy left. Yes.
Yeah, but not that much.
But we need to find the Republicans or whatever.
Oh, there you go. Careful. That's a big whatever, dummy.
That stand for something. Stand for something, not just to burn it down, not to go, Jews bad, Russia good.
Jews bad, Russia good. That's the essential argument right now. That's the state of right-wing messaging currently? The what?
That stand for something.
Mm-hmm.
Stand for something, not just to burn it down, not to go, Jews bad, Russia good. Mm-mm.
Really? That's not going to suffice? I don't know why I mean, you could probably put that on a bumper sticker, Jews bad, Russia good. Just Tucker, Rand Paul, 2028? Maybe.
Washington, listen to me carefully.
And tell me later.
I'm trying to help you.
For once.
And almost no one around you is. You're not going to survive this. I don't mean a tough cycle coming your way. I mean, you are building with your own hands a movement aimed directly at you, and you deserve it.
Oh, damn. So the MAGA is coming for incumbent Republicans in I guess, a violent way. Gosh, I'm not even sure. Let's see. I think I find a way to respond to that. What would be the best way to this? Yeah, that'll work, I guess.
And there's exactly one way to take the power out of a movement like that. Actually, there's
7 ways.
There's a couple of ways. First of all,
there's 50 ways to leave your lover, so there's got to be at least 12.
You don't outspend it. You don't outmessage it. Cornyn just outspent his challenger nearly 9-1 in Texas, and the voters retired him anyway. 30 years of seniority gone in a single night. Money didn't save the establishment in Texas, and it's not going to save you either. Now, there are 2 ways that I can think of you take the steam out of a movement where people are like, I'm leaving the party. The first one is the obvious one that every politician in power will jump to immediately. And that's
just quit. Most of the Republicans are just quitting.
Silence the people who are saying it. That makes you a fascist and a authoritarian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you say that. I don't know that they're going to consider that an insult. That they wear that as a badge of honor. I think they're trying to find a symbol to go with it that's not as off-putting as the hooked cross, but just as dynamic.
And I know people on the left are trying it, and I'm sure people on the right will try it. And you'll lose, but so will the Republic. The other way to go is to simply remove the reason it exists. And the only way to do that is to
finally make America great again and not just make it an ongoing process.
Start listening to the people.
Finish FMAGA. Finish making America great again. FMAG.
People who sent you there. And then actually do the thing they sent you to do.
Crazy. I know. It's wild. How do you get that? So nuts. I'm out of time with that. One more thing I want to show you, though. This is Trump I'm not going to do the whole thing because it's a whole speech. He was in last night at a Mack truck plant or whatever, and a bunch of the workers didn't show up because they didn't vote for him and they don't like him, and they flooded in a group of people in the front, and they tried to make it look crowded, and it's a shitty crowd, and it's pretty small. But I want you to listen to him talking at the beginning because he is high as fuck. I have told you guys that he is gacked up on the goose juice. They've got him on Retatrutide, clearly. They've got him on probably some sort of steroid to, for his rash and his fucking puffy hands and all that stuff. His his right hand, especially today, was slathered in yellow paint. I showed earlier today on the morning show, if you want to go back and look, when he came out of that meeting with the Republicans, where apparently Senator Cassidy gave him what for and didn't care. Oh yeah, we don't get really that close, but I do want to warn you, there may be some nunting going on, so prepare yourself. But listen to how he talks. I just want you to hear this.
Hello, Pennsylvania. I won this place so much. We won.
Hello, Pennsylvania. I won this place so much. Man.
Well, I'm thrilled to be back in this incredible Commonwealth with the proud, hard-working patriots of Lehigh Valley. Lehigh Valley.
Lehigh Valley. That's what you are. You hopped up on goofballs, son?
And I'm also proud to say I won this state in a landslide. We won it by so much.
A landslide. I won it by so much.
And remember, I had the couple of little statements, too big to rig. Make it too big to rig, because these people cheat like hell. They cheat like hell, but we won it by a lot. And maybe we should run again. Should we run one more time?
The trail off is the thing. Like, should we run again?
And maybe we should run again. Should we run one more time? I'd like to do that. I'd like to do that. But I got more votes than any candidate in the history of Pennsylvania. Can you believe that, Bo?
No.
You would have gotten more. And today...
He keeps pointing at this fighter. He's just thirsting all over this fighter the whole time.
I'm especially honored to be here in the place that builds some of the toughest vehicles on the road, Mack Trucks. Mack Trucks is doing a great job. We have all of the Mack people, the chairman. We have a whole group of here, all the leaders, the big guys that building.
The big people, whatever their names are, I can't remember the congressman. Later on in this speech is the one where he goes, Mr. Congressman, we got to elect your congressman again to be a congressman again, because you got to get him back in there, right, Mr. Congressman?
They're trying to get a contract for 15,000 trucks.
There you go. That's why he's there. So his own people brought him down to the Mack Truck facility because Mack Trucks are trying to sell 15,000 trucks to the U.S. government. And that's the contract they're trying to get from him. And he, like a dumbass who's on drugs, spills the beans.
The big guys they're building, they're trying to get a contract for 15,000 trucks. 15,000. I said, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
I said, how many are you looking for? 10, 15? No, 15,000, sir. That's a lot of trucks.
It's a lot of trucks.
For more than 100 years, this legendary company has been making trucks right here in eastern Pennsylvania, building the heavy-duty machinery that keeps our economy rolling, our factories moving, and our industries roaring all across the nation.
Somebody flipped him off and yelled something, and there's a momentary pause, and then he blows it off and keeps talking because he loses.
And you are the men and women who put your pride and spirit into those beautiful words, stamped on every Mack truck that said, made in the USA. It's made in the USA.
It's made in the USA.
And I want to especially thank the president of Mack Trucks, Stephen Roy, who I just met, who's a great guy, a great patriot.
Just met him.
Very Republican, too, which I like. He's a very strong Republican.
He told me that, so we're probably going to buy those trucks with taxpayer money.
Stephen, where are you, Stephen? Stephen.
Thanks for standing up. I wouldn't know what you look like.
We got to get a certain very talented congressman reelected. You know.
Yeah, what's that guy's name again?
We got to get him. Where are you? Where are you, Mr. Congressman?
There he is, Mr. Congressman.
We got to get you back in. Thank you, and thank you, Stephen. But a very special thanks to every single worker at this fantastic.
and Mr. Congressman. All right, so you get it. You get the point. He's gacked up on stuff, and they are increasingly giving him the goose juice when he goes out and does these, especially the early evening speeches, which have gotten earlier and earlier when they're doing this. You notice he'll fly off in the middle of the day, and they end up doing these. It's very bright outside. It's not one of these situations where, okay, he did a full day of work, and then they flew to a rally or a business event, and it was after work hours, and people came back in. They do it in the middle of the workday to guarantee that most of the workers are there. He does this at factories all the time, and he's high as fuck. And we need 15,000 trucks. Yes, we do. The government is enormous. It's not surprising. Yeah, Steve Mack, Mr. Mack himself, Mr. Congressman, you know, the Mack trucks, man. Tim Mack, we call him. Yeah, we'll go into this more tomorrow. If I'm allowed to, if I'm able to talk tomorrow, because I have a dentist appointment tomorrow, and I'm okay. But I don't have any cavities. But they're going to do a deep cleaning tomorrow, so that I might be in pain. I'm one of those people, like, my gums bleed easily. They don't, not when I'm brushing, but when somebody gets into my mouth with a pick and starts digging around, magically, it's weird. Whenever they poke my gums with one of those sharp devices, they tend to bleed. It's very strange. Does that happen to anybody else? Is it just me? Anyways, so I've got a dentist appointment in the morning. I'll be fine. I'm just messing around. And I will see you guys tomorrow afternoon. Take care of yourselves and take care of somebody else. And do I have? Yeah, give me 1 second.
Time for a shameless plug. Oh yeah, it's shameless plug time.
I forgot that I have to do the shameless plug. Like, we got to at least do this. Sexy Liberal is coming back to back online. We need to get more of these. Everybody needs to bother Stephanie Miller about this. Every caller must go more dates and give her a city and then locations and places we need to go. God damn it, because we need to go to all these places. We just need to. Hold on. Do I have? Do I not have one of these? Hold on. I need to throw one of these on the. Whoops. Where are we? Here we go. Control blade, and then duplicate onto the vertical canvas. Oops, that's not what I need. That's funny. That's adorable. Quit it. I need this guy. I need, where is it? I need this guy. Maybe not. All right. Okay. Well, it's on the, go see the horizontal version of the show. I'll put this on later. The Sexy Liberal, October 24th, 2026, 8 o'clock. Saban Theater, Beverly Hills, California, West Hollywood, but whatever. And then, of course, let me get this up here for you guys. Boink, and get this out of here. Nerd Halen, Ophelia's, July 31st, Denver. And then I should probably just do this while I'm live anyways, just to throw this in here. Hold on. I'm fairly certain I have it. I should. Hey, hold on. Hold, please. There's did I download it? Please tell me. Yes, I did. Look at that. I'm going to throw this in here. There you go. Ultimate Jam Night. Back in Black. We're celebrating the Back in Black was released that month, 50 years ago or 40 years ago, whatever it was. Was it 50 because it was 80? What was something like that? 84? Anyways, point being, we're celebrating that. Hold on, I'll take this guy and duplicate that to there you go. I'll put this here. Boink. So 7/28, we'll be back before you know, it's gonna be fantastic. And I will be singing Back at Black by AC/DC, but also Black by Pearl Jam. I'm hoping we can do Fade to Black, and I would like to do Black Flag by King's X. These are there's a lot of great songs. We'll be doing a bunch of other singers and players will be doing other songs, but those are my 4 that I want to do. Okay? All right. Or Blackened by Metallica. Maybe I'll just play guitar on that one. That'd be cool. Yeah, we're definitely gonna do Painted Black. I'm fairly certain, like, we have a couple of great singers who are big fans of the Stones, so they'll end up doing that. But either way, 728, we're doing that guy, and then Denver's 31st, so it's a big singing week for me again, so I will have to protect my voice. And then the rest of it is, let's see. Turn this off. I guess the rest of it is just subscribe. Hold on, I have my subscribe. Yeah, just try to subscribe, will you? Is that too much to ask? So hit the subscribe button. We're climbing. We're getting numbers. It's happening. I'm worried that I will be doing lines from Blackadder, yes, during the entire thing. I'm worried that I've been off a little bit lately. Obviously, I get it, yeah. But off air because of other stuff going on. And maybe less is more because people are subscribing more. Maybe they just miss me. Or they're like, where is he? I miss Chris Cornell. Yeah, Black Hole Sun is another option. Yeah. Black Velvet, love that song. Yep. So, anyways, Spirit, Black Kidney. Yeah, and then, of course, we could always do something with the kidney if we...
Has a very special place in the heart.
I don't think so. Hold on. All right, I'll let you guys go. Black Magic Woman, also a good song. There's plenty of options. Just don't say the because that gets us in trouble. You understand? It's not. You guys don't listen. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the thumbs up. If you're on Facebook, give me a angry emoji on your way out the door, and I will see you again very, very soon.
I keep a seat where the light won't reach. Whisper low so it sounds like peace. Lay your head, let the ceiling spin. You don't have to begin again. I've been here where the air goes thin. Saw what happens when you try to win. Better stay where the walls don't move. Nothing left that you have to prove. I don't push, I pull you close till you forget what you wanted most. It's just the way of the world. Down in the dirt where the flowers bloom. It's just the way of the world. You'll feel the power of an empty room. It's just the way of the world. Just wait a moment and we'll start again. You are the enemy of my friend, my friend, my friend, my friend. Take my hand, feel the current slow. I can show you what I know. Every spark only burns you out.